You know that feeling when you're watching a football match and the final score just doesn't feel right? Like it doesn't tell the whole story? You felt there was a deeper truth hiding in the way the teams played. Well, it turns out you were onto something. And a lot of that truth can be captured by a single number.
What if I told you that one number could peel back the layers and show you a manager's entire philosophy, the very DNA of how their team is built to win? Well, today we're going to dive into exactly that, using a metric you've probably heard of, expected goals, or XG.
Now, XG isn't just about who got lucky or who should have won. It's become something way bigger. It's now the silent judge in the great tactical battle of our time, the cold, calculated world of geometry versus the chaotic, unpredictable force of biology.
So let's start with the first side of this fight, geometry. It's a philosophy that gets called positionism. And the best way to think about it is like an assembly line, right? A factory that's been perfectly designed for just one thing, churning out high-quality scoring chances efficiently and consistently.
In this slide, it just lays out the whole conflict perfectly. On one side, you have positionism. That's all about geometry and repetition. It's a pre-planned program designed to create a high volume of good shots. And on the other side, relationism. It embraces biology and confusion. It's a wilder strategy, aiming for these massive, devastating peaks of opportunity. We're talking two completely different ways of thinking about the game.
So for positionism, the goal is one thing, repeatability. The method is all about getting as many shots as possible from the most dangerous spot on the field, what some people call the golden square, right there in the 6-yard box. And the result of this obsession with high probability chances? Well, across Europe, we've seen a massive drop in teams just having a pop from long range. Take a look at this number, 0. Just let that sink in. That's how many goals Manchester City scored from outside the penalty box in the entire first half of the 2017-18 season. That's not an accident, that's not a coincidence. That is a philosophy, that's a doctrine.
But here's the catch. There's always a catch. This obsession with the perfect shot has a downside. It's called the positionist paradox. By constantly searching for that flawless, high XG chance, some teams literally forget to actually shoot the ball. You see these teams with like 70% possession who create a measly 1.2 XG. The whole system can become, well, a bit sterile.
So if positionism can get a little too clean, a little too sterile, what's the alternative? Well, welcome to the jungle. Welcome to relationism, where danger isn't neatly manufactured on an assembly line. No, it's grown organically, right out of pure chaos. And this right here, this creates a huge headache for the data analysts. See, standard XG is great at telling you the quality of a shot once it's taken. But how on earth do you put a number on the defensive chaos and utter confusion that created the opening in the first place?
Well, the analysts did what they do best. They invented entirely new tools. First, they came up with things like gravity-adjusted XG, which is a fancy way of measuring how one player pulling defenders towards them, like a gravitational pull, opens up space for everyone else. Then came REPV, which values the combinations between players, not just what they do on their own. And the proof is in the pudding. This new metric is 31% more accurate at actually understanding these chaotic teams.
And this quote from a StatsBomb analyst just nails it. It's the whole debate in a nutshell, right? It's the high volume of pretty good shots that a positionist structure gives you versus the low volume of absolutely perfect shots that a relationist combination creates when it completely rips a defense apart.
Okay, so if one system is maybe too rigid and the other is way too risky, what's the answer? Well, enter the hybrids. This is the modern attempt to take the best of both worlds and smash them together.
The key metric for understanding hybrids is something called expected threat, or XT, and honestly, it's kind of genius. It gives a value to any action on the pitch, a pass, a dribble, any movement, based on how much it increases the team's chance of scoring down the line. It's the perfect tool for hybrid approach because it rewards both the patient, structured buildup and those moments of chaotic individual magic. It's measuring progress, not just the final shot.
And this table? Oh, this is where it all comes together. This is the data-driven verdict. Look at it. Relationism gives you these huge rewards, but it comes with a really high risk of losing the ball. Positionism is way safer, but it's also less potent. But then you look at the hybrid model. It finds that perfect sweet spot, delivering the best reward-to-risk ratio of the three.
And if the table wasn't clear enough, this bar chart just spells it out. Look at that hybrid ratio, 190, standing just a little bit taller than the rest.
It's not the absolute highest reward and it's not the lowest risk, but it's the optimal balance. The data's pretty clear here. Blending the reliable structure of geometry with the explosive potential of biology seems to be the winning formula in modern football.
But we're not done yet, because for all its power, for all its insights, the algorithm has a blind spot, a very, very human one.
So, here's the most important point of this whole thing. The biggest flaw in XG is that it calculates the probability of a goal assuming an average player is taking the shot. It treats a tap-in for a clumsy defender the same as a tap-in for a world-class, elite striker. And you and I both know that's just not how reality works.
As one coach put it so beautifully, we can't put the talent of Lamine Yamal in an Excel sheet. And that's just perfect, isn't it? It's the ultimate reminder that you can't always slap a number on raw, individual brilliance.
And that brings us to our final big idea, overperformance. When a player, or a whole team, consistently scores more goals than their XG says they should, season after season after season, well, that's not luck anymore. That becomes the statistical footprint of genius. It's the measurable evidence of something the model itself just can't measure. And at the end of the day, that's really the big takeaway. The data is incredible. It's amazing for measuring the process, the structure, all visible parts of the game we can see. But true genius, that will always live in the space between what the numbers expect and what an extraordinary human can actually do.
Which leaves us with a really fascinating question to think about for the future. Maybe the next big leap forward in football isn't about inventing some brand new tactical system. Maybe it's just about getting better at finding those rare, special players whose talent consistently and beautifully breaks the model. What do you think?